The day the Starship finally lifts off from the Earth, that day will be a movie of loud celebration on Earth. SpaceX fans will take it to the roof and let the world know that a big project has been achieved. So, the game changer moves to transform the world and make humans a multi-planetary species. That will be close to being a reality, even though the Starship hasn't yet landed on Mars, just as it is in Elon's goal. This gave hope for Elon Musk to believe that his sweat, toiling day and night to build the Starship, create the Raptor engine, and waste money on paying workers and logistics did not end up in vain. All these challenges combined to make the Starship land on the Moon and Mars is the real reason why the Starship's first orbital flight is more important than you think. In today's video, we'll discuss some nuggets why the first Starship orbital first will be the sweetest iceberg Elon Musk wants to see come to reality as each day passes. Let's take a look on this. First, Time magazine named Elon the Person of the Year last year because of his revolutionary role in shaking up the polluting, fossil fuel burning auto industry and turning the electric car from a weirdo gadget to a mainstream product. Edward Felsenthal, editor-in-chief and CEO of Time, gave the award to Elon Musk, co-founder of Tesla Motor. He said, 2021 was the year that electric vehicles finally became popular and Tesla became one of only a few trillion-dollar companies in the world. Musk almost single-handedly made this market because he saw the need for clean energy transportation long before anyone else. On the southern edge of Austin, Texas, where the city meets the suburbs, there is a strange kind of car factory where the future of non-fuel, most successful car companies being made. There are no exhaust pipes, gears or gas tanks here, nor are there any manifolds, spark plugs or radiators. But the Tesla Group factory is filled to the rafters with batteries. Each sport utility vehicle made in the Tesla factory has 36 battery modules the size of a shoebox and 12 lithium-ion cells connected to a 7-foot-long electric battery pack. So from Tesla's electric car revolution, which was successfully thrilled by Elon's innovation, down to creating hundreds of Raptor engines and the Starship, you'll agree that Elon is not just a man that was born with only a vision to change the world, but also to change the scope and dimension of what the human era may believe as a norm. Daniel Baker, director of the Laboratory for Atmospheric and Space Physics at the University of Colorado Boulder, suggests that Starship could carry a probe to Mercury, a difficult planet to reach due to the need for additional fuel and shielding against the sun. Even scientists have entirely different ideas about who Elon Musk really is. A huge probe might potentially be sent into interstellar space by Starship to follow in the footsteps of the Voyager probes and visit some of the outer planets' routes. This enormous rocket has the potential to deploy space-based observatories that are orders of magnitude more powerful than either the Hubble or the James Webb. Thus, the Starship can launch several landers in the direction of some of the more intriguing moons orbiting the outer planets. For instance, NASA has been looking into the possibility of building a Europa lander as a follow-up mission to the Europa Clipper. It is hypothesized that Europa, a moon of Jupiter, has a subsurface ocean covered by a layer of ice, and that this ocean is at a temperature suitable for the existence of extraterrestrial life. Landers could potentially investigate the possibility of landing on Saturn's moons Titan and Enceladus. Enceladus is an ice-covered world that is comparable to Europa in appearance. Titan is a strange world that has seas made of liquid methane. The best thing about Musk is the lack of slick PR mouthpieces, shilling the dreams of the future every second day. SpaceX keeps working hard, quietly adding to the tally of firsts and letting results speak for themselves. This comes across as commercial more than anything else. There's very little real information presented, and questions like when will the first mission carry humans? Oh, and about leaving Earth's orbit to the moon? To answer this question, Elon has said there will be hundreds of flights before the first human crewed mission. This first flight of Starship will not intend to demonstrate full reuse of either Starship or the booster. If SpaceX does attempt to capture any of the boosters, it means the booster will have to be destroyed since none of the boosters has landing legs. The reusability of each segment of the Starship during the voyage is not demonstrated unless they use one of them. When either part of the Starship carries out a refly, only then can we be able to prove that the Starship can actually undergo reusability. But an important question is, where exactly will the booster's landing legs carry the cargo Starship? That's if everything doesn't work fine with the booster, it has no option but to land on its bare legs, because it cannot land in the Pacific since impact may affect over 30 Raptor engines. Let's not forget that SpaceX has not yet proved that quick reusability is possible or even viable. Not only that, but they have not even demonstrated the possible mechanics of orbital refueling in any way. At this level of the company's innovation, the only thing that they have proven is that they can successfully return booster rockets to their launch pads after a single usage. In the year 2000, Professor Paul Ziss delivered a talk at NASA that addressed not just the development of reusable craft and the establishment of permanent bases on planets, but all technological advancements. In addition to studies on engines, hypersonic aircraft and craft have recently become a focus of attention to first make flights a success before talking about how any of the craft can be reused. So Elon Musk and SpaceX isn't the only company that has compared the idea of space. All research about spacecraft and flight was done between the 1950s and 1990s. Aside from politics, there aren't many ideas that the US hasn't already looked into and taken to the prototype stage. The first stage innovations of the Starship was only a prototype waiting for an adventurer to get it up and running. Then you might get an idea of how much work was done. For instance, the SR-72 glider from the new Top Gun movie was first invented in the 1960s. Falcon 9 has already brought the price for customers willing to share a launch with other people down to $5,000 per kilogram, which is about a third of what it was before. Once Starship is fully operational, that price could drop to $1,000 or even $500. That will be on days SpaceX intends to massively cash out from the public. But that may be a myth, because even though the Starship will be operational without any flaws, it will not happen anytime soon, perhaps in the next 10 years. Next, since NASA is SpaceX's biggest customer and partner, the first orbital flight of Starship will have a huge effect on them. This may be clearer than ever now that NASA is investing in Starship for the Artemis program. When NASA astronauts return to the moon in a few years, they will do so in a lander much bigger than the one used during the Apollo era. In contrast, the lunar module that took Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin to the moon in 1969 was only about 50 meters long from its nose cone to its landing legs. Before the first Starship flight was successful, the world had never seen a vehicle like a Starship. It was only 7 meters tall, and the world had never seen a vehicle like that before. This is because Starship could help reach a long sought-after goal: a launch system's rapid low-cost reuse. Considering the current situation, the large Space Launch System rocket that NASA is building will be able to launch 95 metric tons into low Earth orbit. NASA and its contractors, led by Boeing, will be able to build one a year. The expendable vehicle will launch one payload at about $4.1 billion per mission and then crash into the ocean. These vehicles are similar to Starship and are so heavy that they can put about 100 tons into low Earth orbit. But SpaceX can make one Starship a month, and the plan is to use each booster and spacecraft dozens of times. Imagine what kind of space program NASA could have if it could send 100 tons into orbit every 2 weeks instead of just one a year. That's fine, but not only do they need to get the Earth into orbit, but they also need to build something that can catch both the booster and the Starship. Not only that, but if they don't catch the booster, they'll lose 33 Raptor 2 engines and 3+3 vacuum Raptor 2 engines on Starship, since they can't even try to catch the latter without clearing the tower and doing damage control. But the sound of 33 engines would be amazing to hear, but flights across the Atlantic don't cost that little. How will you feel about SpaceX's first successful orbital launch? Did you know that Elon Musk just revealed how SpaceX finally complete the OLT-2 first booster at 39A? Click on the video to know more.